Hello everyone and welcome to the EFTA channel. This year, the EFTA Statistical Office, or ESO as we call it shortly, is celebrating its 30 years anniversary. On this occasion, we are pleased to have with us today Volker Täube, ESO's director, who will answer some questions we had for him. Welcome, Volker, and thank you for joining us on the EFTA channel.
Thanks, Rafa. Glad to be with you.
Thanks. For a start, to put our audience in the context, can you explain why was ESO founded in the first place?
Well, ESO was established in 1991 as a result of the EFTA states' informal cooperation with Eurostat and EU statistical offices, which, if you want, made up for a kind of first version of the European statistical system, as we called it later on, the ESS. So ESO's role in this regard was that of a liaison office, which was bridging between the EFTA National Statistical Institutes, the EU National Statistical Institutes, and Eurostat. So this has also been formalized in 1994 through the EEA agreement, the European Economic Area Agreement, which made the EFTA EEA countries, Iceland, Liechtenstein, and Norway, then full members of the European statistical system without the right to vote.
Okay, so then who took care of the ESO's task during the 30 years before ESO was created?
Mm-hmm. Well, although Eurostat became already a Director General, a DG, as we say, in 1958, which, by the way, gives an indication of the importance of statistics to the development of European policies, I think. It was only in 1989 that the first Statistical Program Committee was established, and the first multi-annual program covering the years 1989 to 1992 was adopted by the Council. So before 1992, the official date of the entry for the EFTA EEA countries, Iceland, Liechtenstein, and Norway, statistics for EFTA countries were simply not integrated in EU statistics, and comparisons, hence, between countries rather difficult, if not impossible.
So, can you tell us, Volker, why are statistics so important in policy making?
Well, official statistics serve many purposes. While the provision of impartial and reliable information is essential for identification of topics for policy action, for example, and also for planning in complex societies here and now. So, for example, think about the calculation of income developments and how they are affected by economic developments, or well, such as inflation, for example, or the question of access to health care in different regions. So statistics also fulfill a monitoring function. They inform about the effectiveness of political measures taken. For example, are the social living conditions, or is the economy developing in the desired direction? And last but not least, official statistics aim at providing a unified language that allows all citizens to inform themselves about different societal phenomena.
Thank you. Now to go more in detail in this 30th anniversary, what are the main achievements or the key dates of the ESO after 30 years of existence?
Well, there are many things, of course, to mention, so I will try to pick out just a few of them. Well, together with the statistical offices of our EFTA member states and our partners in Eurostat and EU member states, the EFTA Statistical Office has contributed to the full integration of the EFTA statistical offices into the European statistical system that I mentioned already before. In this way, EFTA member states not only reproduce EU legislation on statistics, but actively also use possibilities in shaping legislation at earlier stages, for example, through the participation in expert working groups. This is, of course, an ongoing task that needs a permanent attention in the face of continuous changes in the European statistical system. its representatives and the different bodies. So up to date, ESO has contributed to the identification, evaluation, and preparation for the integration of more than 300 legal acts into the European Economic Area Agreement. Checking on the compliance of obligations from both sides, that means the EFTA states as well as Eurostat, data delivery from EFTA member states to Eurostat, and the use of this data in official publications by Eurostat is another task that is fulfilled by ESO. Despite the financial contributions from EFTA member states to the EU budget and for statistics in the European statistical system, ESO has also continuously contributed to Eurostat's work by providing seconded national experts from EFTA member state statistical offices to units within Eurostat. And last but not least, ESO has contributed together with Eurostat and other international organizations such as, for example, United Nations Economic Commission for Europe, UNECE, or the United Nations Statistical Division, UNSD, to endeavors of statistical capacity building in countries outside the common market for years. And we continue, of course, to do so.
In fact, you are talking about Eurostat. How is the cooperation with the Eurostat working on a daily basis? Did it evolve in 30 years?
Yes, I would say there's always room, of course, for improvement, but I should also say that we have an excellent cooperation with our colleagues from Eurostat and the other EU statistical offices. Well, since ESO has its premises in the same building as Eurostat, the contacts between staff of both organizations are, of course, daily business. We meet Eurostat people from day to day. This is, of course, a great advantage in many regards, since our communication paths are rather short and things can also be settled often through informal communications. The relation between ESO and Eurostat have become a well-established affair over the last 30 years, I would say, and the communication is usually excellent. So although showing the EFTA flag and making people aware of the EEA is an ongoing business, that's because of the high staff turnover that you have also on Commission side. The awareness that the EFTA member states are an integral part of the European statistical system has markedly grown in this period. EFTA and its member states also continuously consolidate and strengthen the cooperation by contributing to different programs and projects besides the already mentioned ones. For example, by participating in ESS working groups and committees, or by contributing to the European Statistical Training Program, the ESTP, which provides a hands-on training to the staff of all EEA countries. That means EU and EFTA, including Switzerland.
Thank you. Can you tell us what is the added value of the statistical cooperation to the EFTA member states?
Yes, well, statistics is fundamentally an affair of comparing figures, comparing states, etc. In order to not compare apples with peaches, well, countries need nationally and internationally agreed harmonized concepts, nomenclatures, and methods that ensure the comparability of what is to be measured. So statistical cooperation, especially in the European statistical system, guarantees that official statistics are of relevant, reliable, and the highest quality, while having also a say in what and how things can be statistically captured. So this is, of course, of great relevance when it comes to the participation in the common market, and to a large extent also social standards like the EU and EFTA member states share.
And to conclude, a question looking at the future. Where will ESO be in the next 30 years? What would it aim at?
Well, unfortunately, we all don't have a crystal ball that shows us the future, but even statistical projections can't do this. They are based usually on the assumption that a given current state can be prolonged linear which excludes, of course, often unknown factors that might intervene and can change at any time results, in order to point to more or less reasonable scenarios, which are then often contradicted by reality. But however, well, I'm confident that as long as there are EFTA member states, ESO will engage to provide an optimum of services related to official statistics to them in order to contribute to political decision-making that is based to a maximum on evidence and facts that serve all citizens.
And on these words, thank you very much, Volker, for speaking to the EFTA channel.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to talk to you.